Have you ever wondered what would happen if you gave your pet dog, cat, bird, or any other pet for that matter a taste of your steak? Wonder no more, at least not today. Here are 15 moments of animals fighting over food. Number 15. Jaguar. This caiman is relaxing on its day off at the beach, basking in the sun, when a stealthy jaguar sneaks up behind it and crushes its neck. The caiman's vacation appears to be ending sooner than expected, and the jaguar will be able to have some fresh reptile meat for dinner. The poor caiman had barely enough time to drink his Bloody Mary before he died. These dogs have cornered a weapon, but instead of attacking it, they merely bark at it. Even if they tried, I'm sure they wouldn't make it out alive. Although the cat hisses and swings his paws, the dogs remain at a safe distance. The dog's continuous barking irritates the cat. The cat lunges at the dogs, but they are too quick to be struck. When the leopard realizes it isn't going to work, he flees, but the dogs follow right behind. The leopard is tired, and the guys on horses are approaching to capture it. I'm in awe at how brave the dogs are. The guys aim to capture the leopard without harming it, while the dogs keeps the jaguar's back against the wall. The jaguar is kept so busy by the barking dogs that it never hears the man above with a rope in his hand, ready to capture the feline. The leopard is apprehended. Once the rope is hurled to end the chase, the dogs are instantly dragged away, and a net is thrown over the jaguar to complete the catch. When this leopard runs straight for the huge rodent and takes it into the water, you can see how enormous the capybara is. The capybara is nearly as large as the leopard, yet lacks the leopard's power. After killing an 18-foot anaconda, this jaguar is dragging it through the bush. Although the snake is quite heavy, the jaguar must transport it to a secure haven, away from predators and scavengers. This jaguar is battling a puma, and they are both vicious creatures. Growls and hisses can be heard as they roll over each other, seeking to obtain as many bites and scratches as they can. The fight comes to an end and is a stalemate ant. Theaters don't put up with jaguars, as this confrontation between the feline and the long-nosed mammal demonstrates. In the end, the anteater is the one who chases the jaguar away. Although the anteater eats ants, it is not afraid of big cats, or so it seems. Number 14. Ocelot and fishing cat. On a private reserve in Peru, this ocelot caught a red and green macaw. The brightly colored bird isn't usually on the wildcat's menu. Macaws are secretive and cautious birds, but this one was grazing on clay near a riverbank, so it had probably relaxed its guard. The ocelot spotted a chance it couldn't pass up and made it happen. A gorgeous macaw had been just slain by what appears to be an ocelot, and it is being carried to its lair high up in a cliff, away from any potential predators or scavengers. Fishing cats like water and stay close to the marshy areas or on rivers and streams. Their attitude is the wetter, the better. They look like leopards that shrunk in the wash. Like their larger cat cousins, they survive by avoiding people and stalking their prey at night. The fishing cat is an ace hunter in the dark. It even has a special fishing technique, tapping the surface with a paw so that the fish thinks it's an insect, and it's the last mistake the fish will ever make to avoid being spotted by the prey. And also likes to hunt in regions with foliage cover, avoiding open areas, especially on moonlit nights. The coyote is surprised by this oslo and backs up into its hiding place, but the oslo jumps right in and kills the coyote in seconds. This fox is ambushed by an oslo, but after a short struggle, the fox escapes accompanied by one of his friends. The oslo continues to chase, but we don't get to see that. Though they are small, ocelots are amazing hunters, and this ocelot proves it once again when it ambushes an iguana for lunch. Number 13. Tiger. Tigers will hunt whatever they can get their paws on, so if they happen to come across a bunch of cows, they will take a go at it. These cows are heading back to the city to do a little shopping when a tiger ambushes the last cow and takes it down. Another cow approaching the area sees what's going on and reconsiders buying a new purse. On this day, after a brief skirmish in the bushes, a tiger known to local researchers as Scent 3 can be seen crossing the road with a leopard's carcass in its mouth. Other predators, like bears, have been known to be killed by tigers, and the leopard's small size indicates it is a sub-adult and has no chance of surviving this attack. A tiger follows a deer across rocky terrain, but that doesn't stop the colossal feline from killing the cute, tiny animal. The deer wiggles its tail as though it is pleased, yet it is simply waving goodbye. What do you think happens when one of the most powerful apex predators fights himself? That's what happens in our next video, when two tigers go head-to-head. It's like bombs bursting in air. It doesn't last long, but boy must have hurt when you consider the size of their canines and claws. Despite having spent his life in captivity, This Emperor of Beasts manages to chase down and kill a wild boar in the wild. That's a remarkable achievement for an animal that has just recently learned the lay of the land. Number 12. Leopard this wildebeest baby. This leopard wants to seal the deal with this wildebeest baby, but it wants to make sure its mother isn't nearby because an adult wildebeest may cause serious harm to a leopard. After scouting the area, it appears that everything is in order and the leopard assaults the animal. We saw a couple of hunting dogs chasing jaguar earlier, and even though the leopard and the jaguar are different, they are very similar. Check out what happens when one dog tries to escape the grip of a leopard. The dog has no chance. Of course, this is a small stray dog and it's not trained, but one-on-one, I don't think any dog would have a chance against a full-grown leopard. Many leopards have been discovered with severe gashes from warhogs, and only the larger male leopards will attempt to attack an adult warhog due to the dangers involved. It's one thing to pursue a warhog, but this leopard enters the warhog's den and kidnaps it while the warhog is watching American Idol. What a bold statement. Our following video features a lot of tumbling as the leopard jumps an impala and tries to finish it off. The leopard will not have an easy time with the impala because it is quite large. This leopard kills a baboon, but when it takes the baboon up in a tree, it finds a small surprise. A baby baboon, surprisingly enough. The leopard lays down next to the baby, and it doesn't hurt it when a hyena approaches. The leopard even takes the baby baboon up in a tree to safety away from the hyena. The baby takes a liking to the hyena, and the young leopard remains confused about what to do with the little baboon. This leopard has just killed a large zebra and it's able to carry the zebra up into a tree. This feline may not be able to beat out a lion, but man, does it ever have impressive strength and agility. It is exhausted once it reaches its destination, but at least they can enjoy its dinner in peace. This young leopard proudly holds a monitor lizard in its mouth, showing it off to the rest of its family. The leopards are not impressed and don't even bother congratulating the leopard. The leopard decides to take the lizard and walk off to a more discreet place. Number 11. Lion. These lions surround a crocodile, but the crocodile is no slouch and it defies the lions, even the male lion. The lions think about their little project for a few seconds and decide it's not worth the hassle. These two lions have an argument, and one of the lions looks like it just came out of the movie Chronicles of Narnia. It has a much lighter color than the other lions. It looks like the other lions want a piece of this lion, but I'm not sure this lion is looking for something interesting to eat. It walks around a little towards a bush, and when it turns around it notices a small antelope and goes for the kill, succeeding in the blink of an eye. This lion hunts a warhog right off the road, and the warhog didn't see it coming. As much as the warhog would like to escape, its presence on the lion's menu is requested on this day. The cheetah is the fastest land mammal, but the lion isn't far behind, so the cheetah in this video had best take it seriously or it will end up like beef stew. I'm not sure why the cheetah didn't leave right away and instead chose to stare the lion down in the few seconds it lost. It was the difference between life and death. Lions don't usually attack adult hippos, but these two lions decided this hippo was game because of its small size, and they went for it with a little effort. They got what they wanted, so the risk was worth taking. Number 10. Leopards. These two leopards don't want to share this impala. I'm not sure if they killed it together, which I doubt, but they both ended up on the tree, and neither wants to let go of the carcass. As one of the leopards pulls away with most of the carcass, the other tears out a leg. But it's not enough, so a scuffle occurs and both cats almost fall off the tree. Eventually, the leopard without the carcass turns away and moves away, lying down on a huge branch while the other leopards stand over the carcass. Once things seem to have calmed down, the leopard with the carcass finally begins to enjoy his meal. These two female leopards clash over a kill, but one of the females is much bigger than the other, and it doesn't take much time before she realizes this. After a few bites and scratches, one of the leopards runs off and climbs a tree. Number 9. Lion and crocodile. A male lion and a shrew of females tell this crocodile to return to its natural habitat. The crocodile informs the lion he does not own the land, and it is free to use by all. For a moment, the two argue, hurling obscenities and threats at one another, but eventually calm down and ignore each other. These two male lions are looking for something tangible to eat when they inspect this massive hypocarcass, but the crocodiles lurk nearby and alert the lions. The crocodiles startle one of the lions, but it isn't enough to scare the lions away. One of the lions even ventures deeper into the water to examine the hippo, but you can tell it's wary and scanning the area for threats. A crocodile leaps from the water, but it misses the lion and a feline leaps out without hesitation. Most fights between lions and crocodiles are over food. It's not like one of these big predators is out to eat the others, so when they cross paths, it's usually over food, and this fight is no exception. With a crocodile inviting himself to the table where a few lions eat a buffalo carcass, the cats are irritated, and one of them even attempts to strike the crocodile. When the crocodile pokes his head into the buffalo's carcass and pulls out some meat, the three lions stand up and gently tap the reptile on the back with their paws. The crocodile is unconcerned and swallows a piece of meat. The cats realize this guy isn't going anywhere, so they leave him alone. Number 8. Wild dogs and hyena. Hyenas are everyone's worst enemy, and wild dogs are no exception. When wild dogs and hyenas meet, anything can happen. The hyenas enjoy a good laugh, and the wild dogs love to eat. These wild dogs are waiting impatiently for this antelope to get out of the water. But the antelope knows what's waiting for it. If it comes out of the water, the antelope gets too close for comfort when it approaches the riverbank, and some of the dogs grab and pull it out of the water. When a couple of crazy hyenas come rushing in to get a piece of the action, the dogs don't attack the hyenas, and it looks like these rivals will have to share the meal. Eventually, the dogs grab the carcass and take over, but the hyenas haven't said their last word. They come back for the carcass and manage to steal it from the dogs and run onlookers on a morning game drive. We're following some ecstatic hyenas. They were following a pack of wild dogs that had made a kill. These wild dogs attacked the hyenas, but they were outnumbered until more clan members arrived and stole the kill from the wild dogs. Number 7. Jackal and vultures. Scavengers have a reputation for being lazy moochers, but a life of chasing leftovers is not without its difficulties. Landing a meal often entails fiercely defending your spoils. Africans. Vultures, jackals are predatory as well as scavengers. When it comes to their turn, it's all about dominance and numbers, which means the more jackals there are, the less likely vultures will be able to scavenge. The more vultures there are in comparison to jackals, the more likely it is the vultures that will dominate the carcass and consume it. In this video, this jackal tries to fend off these hungry vultures. The vultures aren't aggressive, but they're patient. Eventually, the scout avengers share the meal. 3 cheetahs abandon their meal to the benefit of these vultures, but when a few jackals come into the picture, they have no problem butting their noses in there and serving themselves. A scuffle ensues between the scavenger birds and the jackals, turning things into a free-for-all. This wake of vultures seem to have had their fill of this carcass, so when this jackal arrives to get some of the goodies for himself, the vultures don't intervene and watch the jackal enjoy his food. When competing for a carcass, vultures frequently clash with scavengers. In Kruger National Park, safari enthusiasts discovered a mixed group of vultures feeding on the remains of a wildebeest calf. Most of the birds were white-backed vultures, with 3 massive pink-headed lapid-faced vultures and 1 Cape griffin thrown in for good measure. With a lapid-faced vulture in pursuit, a black-backed jackal charged into the vultures and moved the spine of the wildebeest. The jackal retreated and tried again, brightening the Cape griffin. The jackal grabbed the wildebeest's hide, this time twisting off a leg, then retreated to the shade to eat it. The vultures resumed their feast on the last grabs of the kill. These vultures surround a lone jackal to get a piece of the carcass. The jackal tries to fend them off. The scavengers wait for their turn and pull some of their carcass their way. The jackal ends up with a small piece and charges the vultures whenever he feels threatened by the big birds. Number 6. Wolves and bear. This black bear is engaged in a food fight with 3 white wolves. What else is new? The wolves are hungry and they try to fight the bear, but the bear is simply too large for them, so they decide to move on. These wolves have just killed something and their carcass is being threatened by a large bear. If the wolves do not give up their prey, the bear will unleash its full wrath. The wolves consider challenging the bear twice before deciding to let go of the carcass. They escape unharmed, even though the bear's message is clear in this video. A wolf mother wants to feed her young, but the pack is not returned with food and they are too late, leaving the young hungry. She is startled to hear crows. There's a feast nearby. Perhaps there will be enough food for her and her puppy. The wolf mother starts to move, but this is bear territory. The bear is a glutton who refuses to share her food. However, the wolf mother is hungry and needs to feed her pups. She watches from a distance, waiting for the right moment to ask for some food. Her mission is challenging and she may have to fight the bear. As the wolves encroach on their territory to steal the food, the bears become aware of the intrusion. The bears go on a rampage to scare the wolves and force them to flee. However, the wolf mother is unable to restrain herself and has chosen to fight for the food. The mother chases some of the bears, allowing it to quickly steal some of the food. The mother has succeeded in keeping the bears away from the food and rushes to get some. She is aware she must act quickly before the bears stop her. The bears are enraged, and the mother must flee before things become dangerous. She walks away and feeds her puppies. This lone bear doesn't seem bothered by the presence of wolves as he eats his meal. I guess he doesn't feel threatened just yet. But when one wolf tries to get closer, the bears turn around and lets the wolf know it's not welcome. Number 5. Crocodile eating crocodile. In our thumbnail, this crocodile has another crocodile in its mouth and is crushing it. I guess crocodiles don't always hunt wildebeest and zebras. In this video, a larger crocodile bites on a smaller one and begins to toss it around. It then proceeds to do the death roll. One of the keepers enters the enclosure and hits the crocodile on the head with a long stick, dispersing the reptiles in the process. This gigantic crocodile is eating a much smaller crocodile. You can hear the sounds of the crocodile crushing the smaller reptile as it swallows it whole. It sounds like he's eating chips, but just a lot crispier. These crocodiles found a dead crocodile and have no problem eating one of their own. I mean, the croc is dead, so might as well take advantage of the situation. While on a safari in the Kruger National Park, safari enthusiasts decided to visit the well-known Sunset Dam during a mid-morning game drive. When they arrived, they discovered a massive crocodile with another smaller crocodile in its mouth. They had initially assumed they would simply fight, and that would be the end of it. The croc was initially caught by its tail and was on the verge of escaping when the larger cannibal crocodile went in for another bite and sadly grabs it in just the right place, making escape impossible. The whole thing lasted about an hour. When they returned to Sunset Dam later that afternoon, the larger crocodile was almost parading his killer on the dam, presumably relocating it to a more suitable place to eat, a feeding frenzy ensued with the dead reptile being chopped into bits and pieces. While it is not uncommon for crocodiles of the size to eat smaller crocodiles, it is not often that you get to see it happen. Number 4. Wolves and bear. This black bear is engaged in a food fight with 3 white wolves. What else is new? The wolves are hungry and they try to fight the bear, but the bear is simply too large for them, so they decide to move on. These wolves have just killed something and their carcass is being threatened by a large bear. If the wolves do not give up their prey, the bear will unleash its full wrath. The wolves consider challenging the bear twice before deciding to let go of the carcass. They escape unharmed. Even though the bear's message is clear in this video, a wolf mother wants to feed her young, but the pack is not returned with food and they are too late, leaving the young hungry. She is startled to hear crows. There's a feast nearby. Perhaps there will be enough food for her and her puppy. The wolf mother starts to move, but this is bear territory. The bear is at glutton, refuses to share her food. However, dwarf's mother is hungry and needs to feed her pups. She watches from a distance, waiting for the right moment to ask for some food. Her mission is challenging and she may have to fight the bear. As the wolf encroach on their territory to steal the food, the bears become aware of the intrusion. The bears go on a rampage to scare the wolves and force them to flee. However, the wolf's mother is unable to restrain herself and has chosen to fight for the food. The mother chases some of the bears, allowing it to quickly steal some of the food. The mother has succeeded in keeping the bears away from the food and rushes to get some. She is aware she must act quickly before the bears stop her. The bears are enraged and the mother must flee before things become dangerous. She walks away and feeds her puppies. This lone bear doesn't seem bothered by the presence of wolves as he eats his meal. I guess he doesn't feel threatened just yet. But when one wolf tries to get closer, the bears turn around and lets the wolf know it's not welcome. Number 3. Lion and leopard. This leopard stole this lion's meal. The lion even climbs this tree, which is unusual, so he must really want it back. The leopard climbs up higher into the tree when he sees the lion get to his meal. There's no way the lion can catch a leopard in a tree because leopards are way too agile. But the lion doesn't care because he got what he came for. Here is a leopard climbing a tree with an animal carcass. The lioness wants what the leopard is and climbs up the tree to get it. The leopard moves up higher and the lioness abandons the tree branch being too small. In the meantime, a few male lions arrive on the premises and one of them gives it a shot. But he's not even able to get as high as a lens did. It's obvious lions are not very skilled at climbing trees. This lion practically gets to this leopard high up in a tree, but their combined weight, along with the weight of the dead prey, breaks the branch. They all fall to the ground. I'm sure the leopard was able to get away. This leopard is forced to move up a tree with his kill. When a few lions try to get up there to get the leopard, one of the lions reaches the leopard. But after a scuffle, the lion falls off the branch to the ground. One male lion is seen climbing a tree with prey in mouth. That's impressive and surprising. Number 2, leopard steals food from hyena. This hyena argues with the leopard over a dead prey. In the video, they each grab the prey on one end and pull what's left of it. The leopard growls and the hyena laughs, but it's no laughing matter as they continue to tug at each other and try to steal the kill. Even though the hyena tries to grab the prize at the last second, the leopard eventually runs up a tree with it. This hyena is digging deep into this animal carcass for some tender meats while the leopard is getting his end of it. But the big cat wants more, so he begins to pull the carcass toward him. Another leopard joins the fight and scares the leopard that is eating away. Meanwhile, the hyena realizes this is happening and comes back running to save the carcass. But it's too late because the leopard that stole the carcass is up in a tree. Leopards and hyenas are without a doubt the quintessential for enemies, and the relationship is best described as a toxic friendship. At the very least, the leopard is considerably outnumbered even while facing a pair of hyenas. But in this video, it's one-on-one, and this leopard goes on the offensive to get a hold of this hyena's dead prey. This cheetah family is getting ready for dinner. When they hear something, they leave their dinner on the table for a few seconds to check what the noise is. Meanwhile, a jackal walks into the kitchen and finds the dinner abandoned on the table. While the cheetahs are trying to figure out what's going on, a leopard sneaks into the kitchen and runs off with the cheetahs. Number 1. Lion on crocodile. A male lion and a shrew of females told this crocodile to return to its natural habitat. The crocodile informs the lion it does not own the land, and it is free to use by all. For a moment, the two argue, hurling obscenities and threats at one another, but eventually calm down and ignore each other. These two male lions are looking for something tangible to eat when they inspect this massive hypocrites, but the crocodiles lurk nearby and alert the lions. The crocodiles startle one of the lions, but it isn't enough to scare the lions away. One of the lions even ventures deeper into the water to examine the hippo, but you can tell it's wary and scanning the area for threats. A crocodile leaps from the water, but it misses the lion and the feline leaps out without hesitation. Most fights between lions and crocodiles are over food. It's not like one of these big predators is out to eat the other, so when they cross paths it's usually over food, and this fight is no exception, with a crocodile inviting himself to the table where a few lions eat a buffalo carcass. The cats are irritated, and one of them even attempts to strike the crocodile. When the crocodile pokes his head into the buffalo's carcass and pulls out some meat, the three lions stand up and gently tap the reptile on the back with their paws. The crocodile is unconcerned and swallows a piece of meat. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they are uploaded. That's it for now.